All right, guys, welcome to another session with Excel Server Mind. Thank you for joining us today. I hope we've been learning throughout the sections. So today we'll be talking about vendor risk management. However, we'll be using a platform called Servicenow. We'll be using the platform to show how we could be able to have carry out vendor risk management with that platform. So today is gonna be purely practical, no speech. So as usual, I'm your facilitator called Joseph. So let's quickly get into vendor risk management. All right. So let's just go. So this is ServiceNow platform. I'm gonna assume for this training that this is not our first time. This is not our first time or your first time interacting with this platform. So quickly, let's look into vendor risk management using ServiceNow platform. So when you log in, this is your page. This is your home page as a developer. So quickly, let's search vendor risk management. We're already there. So allow it to load a while. So we're in the vendor management workspace, checking the risk management. So the name of our company is what? Excel Cybermind, Excel. So in our Excel company, we work with 87 vendors. We have 87 vendors we are currently working with. And then within that 87, we have what? Total engagement, 28 engagements. Also bear in mind that one vendor can contain two engagements. Like two engagements can be attached to one vendor. Engagement is simply the number of times we do business with a particular vendor. So this is just the dashboard, vendor population, risks, areas, and so on. Sorry. So issues identified. So this is just for the dashboard. Let's just get into it. So today I'm gonna show you. Let's say you're we Excel Cybermind want to do business with a third party. But first of all, let me show you the list of all our vendors before we go there. So you see 87 vendors. Let's just click on. So let's say as ESA, see the details, their websites, start the relationship, start date, and so on. Click overview. Is ranked low rating, one engagement so far. So that's just it. Now, the details about the company. Risk rating low, valued partner. I will explain all these things later. I'm just showing you an example. Address, location address, financial, is it publicly traded, and so on. So today we're going to try to start an engagement with a new vendor. We're going to onboard a new vendor and start engagement with the vendor. So quickly, let's say new. We'll go back to all vendors. We say new vendor. All right, let's give it a good name. Let's say Assurance Bank or Assured Bank. Want to engage with a bank? So websites we can add later. Tiering, none. Depending on the type of business you want to engage with the vendor, strategic partner, valid partner. Let's choose strategic partner for the reason of this experiment or training. So third party tier. Now vendor manager, we choose a vendor manager. Let's say Abraham Lincoln. We work with Abraham Lincoln. A business owner who within our organization, who is the person that owns the business that will be interacting with this vendor. Let's say Abel Tuta. All right. Let's say Abel Tuta is our CFO. Parent company, if they have notes. Now industry, we go. Let's just choose banking. Relationship start dates. All right. Today, you can attach flyer, vendor type, you choose hardware, software. Okay. Services. So location, we put address for now. We can skip that. Publicly traded, we just added there. You can include these values if you need to. Or we are trying to make this training as brief as possible. All right, so we do what? We save. So automatically created a record for this our new company, a short bank. All right, now we've brought in the company into our database. However, there are some steps we also need to carry on. We need to carry out. First of all, we need to know, we need to rank the vendor because we have many vendors. We have high vendors who value highly, medium, and so on. So we need to rank the value of the vendor or the importance of the vendor. Let me put it that way. We need to rank it. So let's do that. We call it what? It's called what? Tiering assessments. To know the tier, we'll put the vendor. So quickly we'll carry out a tiering assessment. Remember, all these things can be assessed through here, through this menu. But usually I like to follow the all vendors aspect and so on to be able to see all the details. Now, all vendors, yes, the vendor we just created, assured vendor. Let me refresh this page. Assured bank, sorry. All vendors. All right, assured bank, vendor manager. You see the details there. So we want to tier, first of all, tier the vendor, know the tier will be putting the vendor. So tiering assessment quickly. So we create what a new assessments. Let's just call this for initial. Oh, no. Initial. Let's just call it. Let's put it initial tier assessment. So description will come in. Applies to third party. Assigned to who are we assigning to? Who is the vendor risk assessor? Vendor risk assessor. We're going to assign it to Adam Harrow. Are you with me? Adam Harrow. So we've assigned it to Adam Harrow. Now the tiering assessor, that's the business owner. I think the business owner we chose. Well, I think it's Abel Tuta, but we'll still find out and confirm. So get these details more. So the assessment schedule, one day you can set it as how you want it. One day, 1 week, depending on the assessment you're carrying out. So tiering assessment schedule. So let's say this. Now, inside initial assessments, we do what? This is the first stage, the draft. Now we come and put in the questionnaires, what we need, the criteria we need, or the questions that need to be answered for us to know the particular tier we need to assign the vendor to. So let's quickly add the questionnaires. Okay, let's work with basic for now. These are demo data. Let's just work with basic. So preliminary vendor tiering question. So we save. Remember, your tiering assessor, you can also ask your developer to change the naming conventions for most of these. Your tiering assessor is just your business owner, the person in charge of bringing in the new vendor. That's just it. So we now submit what? We submit the assessment. We submit this assessment to who? To Hebel Tutor. He's the assessor. He's the one that is going to answer these questions so that we will know where we will place this assurance bank. So now it has been sent to assurance bank, it has been sent to Hebel Tutor. Quickly, let's see what Hebel Tutor will see, the manager. Let's see what he will see in his platform. We're going to impersonate user Hebel Tutor. I'm going to quickly switch to Hebel Tutor. Right. So we've logged in as Hebel Tutor. Quickly, we go to his my assessments and dash and surveys. Now you see it's third-party risk assessment. So the man, he will take the assessment. So let's quickly take the assessment. How would you characterize the relationship with this vendor? Very strategic. Does even now in the future, does strategic, competitive, and operational advantage? Yes. What is the complexity of switching from this vendor to an alternative? Let's say it's high complexity. Remember, it's a financial institution. Depending on the business, we want to work with them, want to carry out with them. Nature of interaction with this vendor. You say they store, process, transmit customer data. Of course, we know that. So does this vendor access company intellectual and customers? So probably yes. Let's put yes. For this session, we're going to answer yes. We're going to answer yes in almost all of them. Does this vendor store, process, and transmit PIIs? Yes, they do. Does this vendor transmit PCI? Yes, PCI data, they do. Does this vendor access critical company systems and so on? Yes, they do. Now, during our interaction with this vendor to serve, does our interaction with this vendor to serve federal government require? Okay, good. So on compliance, we need to, yes. Does our interaction with this vendor require satisfying industry compliance requirements? Yes. PCI, NEC, energy industry. So we say yes. Does our interaction with these vendors to serve customers operate in various, yes, various geographical locations? Various geographical locations, and yes, GDPR, yes. So we do what? We submit. You can still submit anything. We submit. So as Hebel Tutor has completed the assessment, now let's go back to being ourselves. Now we are in a minute, let it load. Okay, workspaces. We are actually at the vendor management workspace. Risk. Oh, risk. A moment. All right. So we have you see, the count has increased. It's 8 vendors now. So let's look for our vendor. All vendors. Let's look for the vendor we are trying to get into business with, Assured Bank. Okay, risk overview. This Tuesday. Now let's load in. Now we come here, we see tiering assessment. If you can remember, we created a tiering assessment, sent it to a bell tutor to handle or to yes to handle. So we'll go and check his response. He has handled it and responded back to us. He has handled it and this thing responded back to us. So and from his response, we see that it is placed Assured Bank as a very high tier. It's a very high tier. So let's check his. So he has done, see the stage where he has done the tiering assessment. He has responded within response, he has responded. So we are this page. And I think now after going through in depth, we can, after we are done with the checks of all the answers, if we requested documents, everything, we'll see them here. We'll do what we'll close the assessments. So as we close, let's refresh this page and see where we are. See, we have closed. Now that's it. We are done with vendor risks. Sorry, vendor tier assessments. So we know that now based on this, we've categorized them as very high. So let's talk about this. Now we've added a vendor, we've done tiering assessments. Now we are going to do vendor risk assessments. In vendor risk assessment, what it means is that we're going to ask for some requirements, we're going to expect them to answer us or send us some proof of some documents or how they are handling risks and so on. That's what we do in vendor risk management. So let's go back to our vendors. Assured Bank, our new vendor. Now you see third party tier, very high. That is it. Very high. So quickly after that, we're not going towards we do assessments. So this is the risk assessment we are meant to carry out, or we are going to carry out. So let's create an assessment and send to, now this time around, we are going to send to the vendor so that the vendor will reply us with every detail we need. So let's create a new one. This is a demo data too. Let's create a new third-party risk assessment. Let's still work with our naming convention, initial risk assessments. Oh, no, sorry about this. Okay, good description. Short bank is here repeating assessment. A repeating assessment is if we've done this assessment before, like routine audit, you come back, you do another assessment. But now we've not done this assessment before, so it's just let's load the first assessment template or what we need from them. See, due to the fact that we consider them very high in our tier, let's carry out a critical risk assessment on them. The other checklists or other questionnaires you can attach to them. So that's where we are. So who is the owner of this REIT? Well, still Adam Harrow. We already know that. Our risk assessor, Adam Harrow. Now, 60 days, we can leave it. The scheduling, there's nothing to talk much about. You can change the schedule to match what you want, 15 days, everything. So we've created now a critical risk assessment for third-party assured bank. That's what we've created, a security assessment. So let's see. All right. So you see that we are now, let's look at the details. Now, the questionnaire, you see that this is the questionnaire we selected. Now, the questionnaire contains requests for 2 documents. We've requested 2 documents or 2 reports from them. You see? So now, part of the process in setting up a vendor is what? Is that we have to set up a vendor contact. I think that's one we skipped. Setting up a vendor contact. So third-party contacts, where is it? Okay, third-party contacts. So a contact from the third-party side, from our short bank that will be dealing or interfacing with us. So let's say new, let's just set this one up. So from our short bank, let's say John, let's just set up one. John Doe, email John Doe at. We'll make him primary contact. If we don't make them primary contact, we will not be able to send the assessments to them. So department, we can choose any. Well, let's just choose anyone. Let's just say information security. A lot of these forms, you will fill them according to the details you get from the vendor. You ask for those details and so on. So, but for now, for the purposes of this assignment, we're going to leave some blank. So we have assigned John Doe as our primary contact. So we see. So we've saved. All right, as we've saved it, let's go to, okay, we've saved it now. We'll go back to our short bank slide. Now, third party contact, primary contact is showing through. That is our primary contact. Now, let's go back to what our assessments. We're in assessment. We just came to add the contact. So now assessment. Now this is the current assessment we are working on. So let's look at it. So this is the stage we are in draft. Now, after we've selected our questionnaires, chosen documents we need from them, what do? We submit it to the vendor. Submit it to the vendor, and the vendor, the contact person we have with the vendor, that is John Doe, that's been sent to Assured Bank. So let me check if, okay, let me refresh this page so I will see the current status of these engagements, or sorry, this assessment. So states it has been submitted to vendor. See, complete, submitted to vendor. So we are waiting response. We are at the stage of waiting for response. Let's see if we can impersonate the vendor and try to answer the questionnaire. So let's say John Doe, let's see. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. Currently, due to some settings, we need to set up the profile and do all those things, but we are not gonna go into that. Let me just run us through ones that we already have in our workspace. Remember our wonderful dashboard. So let's say we've created a vendor, we've done the tiering assessment, the risk assessment. Let's say, okay, we are in this stage now, vendor risk assessment. Let's look at all assessments. These are what ongoing assessments. So let's look at states. Let's believe or let's pretend that those people have replied. Assured Bank has replied. Let's look for one that has an assessment that the vendor has replied. Submitted to third party, submitted to third party. Let's check it out. I can filter, but let me go through this route. Let me go through all open and check. We are checking the states. Want to look for one that has been that we've gotten submitted that we've gotten response. Now, the for it to get to this stage now, this generate when it's generating response, that means what the observation has been sorry, the assessment has been done by the vendor and replied. So let's look into it, or let's look into it. Generating observation. So, like I said, the response has been received. It is generating the observation. And what is it generate? Okay, let's see the questions it was asked. The documents received. So you see stock 1, stock 2 reports. So if we receive, this is how it's to appear once they answered our assessment, our risk assessment. We do what? We finalize with vendor. We click on finalize with vendor. You see, once we finalize with vendor, it enters the next stage. The stage of what? The responses. And what are the responses? Based on what based on what they sent and our assessment, we come and find out if there are issues. That's the next stage. If there are issues in their response that need to be taken care of. So let's go to all open issues. This is just a high level overview, please. All, let's say, high level issues. Sorry, issues. So you see, so critical critical issue, use of shared password complexity. So it's all the issues it got from the reply, it's kind of opens it up here. And then after we've looked at the issues, we now send it into what? Tax, where we expect the the vendor to take action. So the actions we expect from the vendor is in the tax section. So let's look at all open tax. So quickly, now let's look at this first one. The issue. See, look at, are you saying it is linked to issue? The issue is what? Insufficient log retention. Insufficient log retention. That's the issue. We are there. So if as that's the issue, now what did we ask them for? What did they ask them to do due to this thing? So you see that the task we asked them to do is what? Is that they should what? Update physical security log retention to 90 days. That is the task we expect them to do. So assigned to third party contact and so on. So once they do it, sorry, my page is refreshing. So once they do it, once they do this task, it will reflect that it was the task. We'll now check it and close the task. Do you get? So that's how it's just a process flow software. So after where are we? We are in tax now. So we can also record outages, contracts, manage contracts, incidents, improvements, service level document. So there are a lot of things we can do with this software, with the aid of this software. But today we just focused on what risk management, vendor risk management, where we, let's say, onboarded a new contact, sorry, a new vendor, worked with them. Let's did a tier assessment. We categorize them as very high in our tiering. Depending on, like I said again, your ServiceNow developer can customize this software to fit in to the terminologies you use in your organizations. You can customize it to fit in comfortably. So there's also this 360 view. Let me just mention it. This 360 view is just like a quick summary. Let's look at it again. Let's see 360 view. Oh, it will take some time. So this is just, it will just give you a quick summary of your relationship with that vendor. It's gathering data, so it will take a bit of a while. Okay, good. So you see activities assessments, one open, 5 assessments open, 1 tiering assessment, 1 issue, product model, you see. So it's just a quick summary of your relationship with this thing, with a particular vendor. We'll be stopping here for this class because we've taken a lot of time. However, I'll be expecting your questions. Drop me your questions, hit me up if you have if you need more clarifications. By next session, we'll continue with, we'll go deeply into engagements, how we can have engagements with different engagements with a particular vendor. Example, let's say the assurance bank, we need the type of savings account with them, or let's say a software company, we need 3 different softwares from them. Let's say Microsoft, want to engage with Microsoft and want to work with their Azure side, want to work with their 365 Office, this thing. So we'll look into that and how we can create different engagements and manage those engagements individually. So thank you for joining me in this class. I hope you've learned a lot. So take care till next time.